Hey, what's happening?
Hey, just heading to the airport, hoping to get back to God's country.
Yeah, this is God's country, that's for sure. So because I know you're busy, I appreciate you coming on. So tell us, what exactly is this new committee with Rep. Luna and everything going to do? Because I'm very interested. That it seems to be, this is going to be cool, but this is a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, it's really just a disclosure committee. We're going to try to make sure everything stays on track with the disclosure, whether it's John F. Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, or Martin Luther King, and of course the UFO UAP situation too. We're going to hear things. It's a select committee, I guess. The chairman asked me to be on it, so we'll be dealing specifically with those issues, and we'll get the documents prior to, and we'll, I think it's amazing that the FBI just found 14,000 new files on John F. Kennedy's assassination. I mean, that just tells you the crooked nature of this whole situation up here.
You talk about they just found those, and I know at first it started out, I was like, we found 2,000. I'm like, well, now it's up to 14. How do you misplace those and magically find them a couple days before this is all announced?
You don't, and that's what scares me about it. It's either they want to come clean, or they're putting a bunch of fake information out to lead us down another rabbit hole.
That'd be awful. So how's it going to go? We're talking to Congressman Burchett. How's this going to go? Is it going to go, are we going to take a case-by-case thing, or are you guys going to just, kind of release it all, as fast as possible, one by one, or just everything at once?
Well, as soon as we get it, hang on a second, got a redneck up here in
I hate rednecks.
Washington, D.C. But we've got I would like to go case by case, but we need to get it as fast as we can get it, because something could change, and the feds will say, we didn't mean to do that. Let's not do it anymore. And then what they'll holler is national security, and that's what's kept us away from a lot of files in the past. And so I just wish they'd just dump it all and let America decide. Quit playing, the dangling little carrot out there every now and then. Oh, look what we're doing for you all, and it's our stuff. They ought to turn it loose. They shouldn't be able to once be the gatekeeper on this stuff.
How much have you seen so far? Because Rep. Luna said that she believes the single bullet theory is baloney, and that there was somebody else. How much have you been read in or seen some of this stuff already?
We haven't. Neither one. I talked to her about that today. I mean, that's just her personal theory from what she's seen. She's got, the doctor's testimonies. And the thing about it is, I mean, just the whole thing, they claim to use a Italian carbine. It's called a Manleaker. It was, I have one. It was written up as the only gun that never won a war. And, it's just a horrible, and then the picture, the famous picture where they're holding the gun up, they're holding up a Mauser. So, the whole thing is just bogus, I think. Nobody could make that shot, those 3 shots in that period of time, and in that close of a pattern. And it's just not, the whole thing is bogus, and I don't know if we'll ever know the truth.
Talking to Congressman Burchett as he gets ready. He's heading back here to God's country, and a redneck almost ran him off the road, dadgummit. So now that you're getting this set up, and this is going to be cool, because I think a lot of people have hit me up today, even on the TN text line, talking about how excited they are for that. One person said you need to check and make sure the earth isn't flat, but we'll leave that to the side. The UFO stuff I'm very curious about. That's got to be is that where you kind of lean into, like you really want to get to the bottom of this?
Yeah, they asked me to chair a committee just dealing with that, and I said, no, let some other people get in on this thing. I got too much going on right now. And I would like to see some of it. I've had too many. I've talked to admirals. I've talked to some of the top pilots in the world that are American military, and it's just everything is just right there. And I just wish they just push it all out, unredacted. And because we're spending the money on something, we're spending millions and millions of dollars, and now Elon's interested in it. So I expect we'll see a lot of movement on that.
You know, speaking of Elon, what do you make of the Doge, the speed of the Doge? I mean, a lot of this stuff, and you know this, he's throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks, see it get through the courts before it eventually gets to you guys to vote on, because you're going to have to vote on some of these things. What do you think of the Doge so far?
I love it. The reason they're hollering is because they got their hand in the cookie jar. You're going to see money that comes right back to Washington, and it's both parties. So, you know, I'd love to point the finger at the Democrats, but I can assure you that that's not all the case. And I'm looking forward to that, everything they can get as fast as they can get it. And because we're going to have to pass laws, anything the president does by executive order, then we've got to pass laws to make it permanent, or another president can just come in and turn it over. So we've got to have the guts to do that, and that's where you're going to see your people getting a little squirrely on it. And I love it. The stuff they're finding out, USA. We've been talking about that stuff for years, and we could never get anybody to pay any attention to it. And then it's just coming out fast and furious right now. You know, we're looking at over $1 billion in just fraud, waste, and abuse already.
What do you know, it's funny you talk about like the USAID. We could sit there, I mean, and talk about a lot of this stuff that's a waste and abuse, and there's plenty of it, and the CIA obviously enjoys their coup using all this stuff. But on the side of that, though, we got to get to the bottom of some of this other stuff, the waste, fraud, and abuse inside of, you know, everything from Social Security to Medicare, and to get to the real, get this deficit down. And everybody's terrified to even mention those two things. But we have to be honest, we're going to run out of money.
Yeah, well, the thing is, well, we ought to, and the Democrats are already starting to squeal because we said we're going to do away with with all that within Medicaid and Medicare. And what that, you know, the messaging, and we're terrible at messaging. I don't know why we can't get our heads together on this thing, but the truth is, if we can eliminate all that, and then there's more money there available for people who need it. So I would just think that would be the best selling point. And of course, education, it's going to make USA look like a crap game out behind the bar somewhere, because the money that they're going to find in education, and then when they get over to the Pentagon, it's Katie barred the door. It's going to be big.
You know, the Pentagon, like, you know, with Pete Hegseth running it now, and I was trying to explain to people, it's not about cutting it so we're not armed. It's actually easier for us to be more efficient, and with AI and everything, that's where everything's going anyways. It's the fact that these guys sign these massive contracts for 10 years. After 5 years, that stuff's obsolete, but we still have to pay them to make stuff we'll never use.
Yeah, we're mothballing stuff, and the corruption lies, and they come into the meeting, the chairman of the committee, and he'll point to different members and say, you know, the missiles are made in your district, the landing gear are made in your district, the jet engines are made in your district, and a lot of these things, these weapon systems, as soon as they're produced, they're mothballed, and that it's got to stop. Yeah.
It absolutely does. One of the things, we're going to let you get here, one more quick question, talking to Congressman Burchett about, you know, all the stuff with the Doge and the new committee you're on. You talked about the fact you guys are the purse, and I think people forget that you guys are the purse, and a lot of this stuff is going to be knocked down by courts and maybe even the Supreme Court, like Department of Education, and then it's going to be your turn to stand up. And you're right. There's going to be a lot of guys out there that are happy that he's signing executive orders, but there's going to be some push coming to shove on the Republican side to get some of these things over the line.
Absolutely, and I want to warn people, when we make these cuts, if we turn around and give that money to the war pimps at the Pentagon, we're not saving anything, because we're just turning right around and spending it. We're not saving it to give to the Pentagon. We're saving it to get us out of debt and to save our country from falling further. I mean, this inflation is real, man. Tennesseans are hurting.
Yep.
And, you know, when the government's taking state, federal, and local, they're taking over half your income. And that's pathetic. And then we're throwing it out. This is stuff at USA. And, you know, like I say, if I couldn't go to Columbia, not Tennessee, but the country, if I couldn't go to Columbia and enjoy a transgender opera paid for by the American taxpayers, I don't know what I would do. You know, I mean, that's the kind of stuff we're spending money on. We are spending money on sex reassignment or sex change operations in Central America. Millions of dollars that we're spending on this stuff. And, you know, and we can't even take care of our people in Upper East Tennessee and Western North Carolina after Hurricane Helene. You know, we voted on $100 million for FEMA. I didn't vote for it because I knew they'd just steal it. And sure enough, that's what they've done. They were still living in tents and weren't getting, you know, Army Corps of Engineers wasn't paying any attention until Trump got in there and he told them to get their butts up there and fix it. And that's what they're doing. So it's, you know, new sheriff in town.
Keep fighting the good fight. We can't wait for you to expose the aliens, man. We're looking forward to that because I know you're the one to do it.
I'll bring them by the station for you to meet them.
I love that. Congressman Burchett, thanks so much. Fly safe, man. Talk to you soon.
See you, bro.
See you.